Friday, March 15th. Here in Boulder, Colorado, we've escaped the bomb cyclone, and it's brilliant sunshine, snow on the peaks outside of town, and it's about to be St. Patrick's Day. How could it be better? So, it seems the phone rang at Father Mulcahy's residence, and it was O'Toole from just down the street. And O'Toole, in a very sad voice, said, "Father, my beloved dog has died, and I was hoping you would conduct a service for the poor thing." And Father Mulcahy said, I am a Catholic priest, O'Toole. We don't conduct services for animals. Over on the other side of the town, there are Protestants, you know, and there's no telling what kind of things they believe in. O'Toole said, "Well, I was considering a small bequest. Do you suppose $5,000 might interest the Baptists over there?" And Father Mulcahy said, "O'Toole, why didn't you tell me the dog was a Catholic?" And so in that spirit, a word about housing. The Wall Street propaganda machine, in its new setting of negative news, it's discovered what newspaper people have always known, and of course what the webocrats know, which is negative and scary headlines gather more eyeballs than good news. And the pattern of economic data has slowed, but it's not submerging. It's just slowing. And mortgage rates are down a long ways. We're down to a new low again today. We're the lowest we've been since January a year ago, and we're almost to 4.5. The best metric for the Fed's future intentions also is down, and it's down far enough that it suggests that the Fed's next move may be to cut, but we're premature on that score. The main thing about housing, housing's numbers are a little soft. The big price increases of the last half dozen years in most cities has cooled. There's no sign of distress, but just cooling. There's cooling in new home construction. And I'd like to remind one and all that housing today is different than it's been in the economic cycles of the last half century. Credit is tremendously harder to get, which is a good thing. It's calibrated the way that it ought to be. And a key thing that makes a wrinkle in the economy turn into a downturn is the exposure of weak households. We may have fewer weak households who've bought homes in the last decade than ever before. And credit is not getting easier. It's just as tough as it's been. And another quirk is the demographic one, in which, I mean, it's good news and bad news, but all of the job growth in this recovery, which by summer will be the longest economic recovery in American history, all of the job growth has been in cities or close by suburban areas. And those areas are all very nearly out of land. And they're out of land, and they have people pouring into town to take IT jobs. And the combination of that kind of scarcity and demand has made prices go up, but it's very, very hard to build. And so we're short of supply. So I wouldn't worry about those things. I would take a very positive attitude toward this St. Patrick's Day. For example, Mr. Muldoon, sitting quietly in his easy chair in his living room, and his wife came up beside him and whacked him in the ear with a frying pan. And when he regained his senses, he said, what have I done now? And his dear wife said, "I found a scrap of paper in your pants pocket, and it said Jenny on it." He said, "But dear, that was the name of the horse that I was betting on at the track day before yesterday." And she said, well, then in that case, I forgive you. And it was only 2 or perhaps 3 days later when Muldoon again was relaxed in his easy chair, and this time with an even larger frying pan. His wife laid him out cold. And when he regained consciousness, he said, What is it this time?" And his dear wife said, "Your horse just telephoned." Do have a good week.